Namaste everyone. The panel presentation was moderated by Professor Lang Sang Ziliang. Ma'am is the professor at the Department of Education and also is the director in charge of Women's Studies Center at Nagaland University. Her 25 years of teaching experience enhanced the insights for the conference. Her area of interest are teaching and research, teacher education, comparative education studies, population education, and educational management. The structure of the session was as follows. Each presenter was given the time limit of 25 minutes and was further followed by a discussion of 5 minutes. The first panelist was Dr. Soni Mary Verghese. Ma'am is an assistant professor at Peet Memorial Training College, Mavelikara, Kerala. She is a recipient of JRF in education and completed her PhD in special education from University of Mysore. She has worked on developing cognitive emotional interventions for children with conduct disorders. She is also a research supervisor under University of Kerala and has had a teaching experience of about 20 years. She has published research articles in various peer-reviewed journals, presented a number of research papers in various national and international seminars, and published chapters in edited books, and also served as a resource person in various seminars. Her areas of interest are assessment in education, education psychology, inclusive education, and educational technology. The topic which she presented was getting started with the metacognition to support students' self-regulation amongst 21st century learners. She was followed by our second panelist, who was Dr. Gurmeet Singh. Sir is an assistant professor at Malwa Central College of Education for Women, Ludhiana. He is also a member senate of Punjab University and also an ex-member of the Faculty of Education, Faculty of Arts and Faculty of Medical Science and Faculty of Business Management and Commerce in Punjab University. He has awarded 11 PhDs under his learned guidance and have had an exemplary teaching experience of 24 years. He has been an author of 3 books and various published psychological tools. He is also an expert member of selection panel for colleges of education under Punjab University in education. Apart from being a life member of All India Association of Educational Research, Sir is also the chief editor of Malwa Journal of Education. The topic of his presentation was preparing teachers to meet the requirements of different types of secondary schools in India. The third and the final panelist for the day was Dr. Geeta Rai. Dr. Rai is an assistant professor in the Department of Education, University of Delhi. Her research interests include language perspective and challenges, teaching of English, education psychology, and early childhood education. With an exemplary teaching experience of 20 years, Dr. Rai delves deeper in the aspects of education. She has penned 3 brilliant books titled Development of Learner in Teaching Learning Process, Childhood and Growing Up, and Teaching of English. And she has also written research papers in various fields of teacher education. She has also held administrative posts as principal and registrar in a private university. The topic of her presentation was monolingual habitus and multilingual realities towards adopting a multilingual habitus in the educational development.
For the different language they speak, for the different food they eat, and this is what we are about. So one language, one nation ना होते हुए diversity और heterogeneity जो हमारी इंडिया का कल्चर है और हमारे क्लासरूम्स जो heterogeneous क्लासरूम्स है उसको हमने एज अ रिसोर्स यूज करके हमें उसे प्रयोग करना चाहिए और as this becomes the duty of the teacher to help the child grow and recognize themselves and recognize their mother tongue, not feel that their mother tongue is no good, so they should not bring in their mother tongue forward. Thank you so much. I hope I have been able to make some kind of sense to what I'm saying.
Thank you, dhanyawad and arigato gozaimasu, dear ma'am. Thank you so much.
Well, has a repertoire of languages to speak. Okay, I hope I was in time because yes, I had a lot of things to share, but we were going short of time. So thank you, ma'am, all of you once again for giving me this opportunity and to meet you again face to face, social distancing karte hue bhi. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for an insightful presentation. Our participants are also thrilled with this session, and I believe everyone thoroughly enjoyed it. I may once again invite our honorable moderator, ma'am, for the discussion. Professor Lang Sang.
Thank you, Ujwal. I hope I got your name right.
Yes,
yeah, so thank you, Dr. Geeta Rai, for a great presentation. We live today in an increasingly diverse and multicultural environment. And as we know, the idea of maintaining a monolingual habitus to separate school system results in a lack of multilingual habitus across different areas. And multilingualism is now seen as a positive resource for individual learners as well as society. And I'm very glad that this topic was taken up. The panelist has addressed the importance, I'm sorry, the importance of multilingual skills and habitus for individual learners, and she has also busted many myths about, language, such as the one language, one nation ideology. And it's also amazing how, so much of code switching is going on naturally without us, even realizing. And ma'am has demonstrated this very beautifully through her examples. So thank you, Dr. Geeta Rai, for clarifying some of these complex, concepts for us and for addressing some very important issues in linguistic issues in education through your presentation. I would only ask one question, just some kind of elaboration. Somewhere along the way, you had mentioned about linguistic repertoire. So I would like to know, how can we as teachers facilitate in expanding the linguistic repertoire of our young learners?
Yeah,
Young
this is
learners.
what was there in my last slide, ma'am. If you remember, the last slide had an activity, where we can, have a multilingual wall where the greeting of in different languages can be written, So, for example, I'm a Gurkhali, Chetna is looking at me, so I can say Dog Dinchu, you in your language can say how you greet. Similarly, in Hindi, we can have Namaste. So in Sanskrit, we can have different, words. So greetings of the child can be written on the multilingual wall, and with the pictures, we can have that. Similarly, the kind of food we eat, that also can be, represented on the multilingual wall. So in a month, if we have, 1 month, we have like a certain word we select, and then in that same word, we can have different people coming up with different, how they say it in their language, Pani, hum pani pite hai. So if a Bengali or a Nepali will say pani khancha, it's like, we don't eat water, but we drink water. So we don't laugh, dekho ye to pani khate hai. We laugh because we do not know the socio-cultural aspect about it, that in certain languages, drinking is also khana. Pani khate hai hum, pani khabo. And in your language, if you can tell me, how do you address pani? If you want to offer water to your guests, how do you address, ma'am? If you can tell me, that will be very interesting. Langsung, ma'am. Yeah,
So
how do you say?
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is how basically I mean to say that in different languages we can have certain sentences being spoken, which is very common, and so that we can understand, we can respect each other, and their language has a lot of thing to do with identity. If you love me, you have to love my language. You have to love me for what I am, how I look, how I speak, what my accent is. आप ये बोलोगे कि श भाषा जो है प्रयोग करते हैं ये पहाड़ी लोग, और पंजाबी लोग इस तरीके से बोलते हैं, not to make laugh of that, but to respect it for what they are. That accent itself is, the cuteness of that language. So this is how we have to bring in, the tolerance, language tolerance. That is what I said. And linguistic repertoire will increase definitely जब हम एक ही word को अलग अलग भाषाओं में अगर हम मल्टीलिंगुअल वॉल बनाकर छोटे बच्चों को हम बिगनिंग से शुरू से ही बताते हैं, तो द चाइल्ड कैन कम वॉक इन एंड रीड द वॉल एंड विल अंडरस्टैंड, अच्छा इसको इस भाषा में इस तरीके से बोला जाता है. द चाइल्ड लर्न्स लॉट ऑफ लैंग्वेजेस, becomes multilingual that way. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. It has been an amazing 1.5 hour of panel discussion. The contemporary issues raised by our panelists required us to venture into hitherto uncharted territories of teacher education. These discussions helped us to question the status quo and ponder upon the opportunities that lies ahead. To sum up the session, I may request Honorable Moderator, ma'am, to kindly present the concluding remarks.
Okay. So thank you once again. I'd like to, first of all, thank all my panelists in this session for sharing some excellent perspectives on some widely different but connected and significant issues of the times. And they have been very successful in putting their points across, and we have all benefited, I'm sure. Thank you for the fresh infusion of ideas from each topic that you all have taken up. And moving forward, I hope that we are able to contribute to the body of knowledge in education and contemporary teaching pedagogy through this conference and through all the papers that have been presented. And I hope as teachers, we are able to facilitate students to learn and to explore the world with a creative and critical mindset, learning to ask questions and leading and enabling students to lead their own learning and being self-aware of their potentialities and even daring to delve into the unknown. Contemporary teaching should prepare learners to learn and acquire skills in the context of a rapidly changing digital and interconnected world. I wish all contemporary teachers be sensitive and alive to student diversities and also learn to be inclusive and also to inculcate the growth mindset on the children and learners that we encounter. Thank you once again to the organizers and congratulations to all of you, the organizers, the coordinators for seamlessly and beautifully, seamlessly and beautifully orchestrating this whole conference. Thank you so much. Hope to be with you all again in future. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your compendious remarks. Your valuable insights into the field of pedagogy and teachers' education have certainly added value to this session. With this, we have come to the end of the panel presentation session. I may now hand over the mic to my fellow colleague, Ms. Nivedita Best, for the technical session.